involved in this Mozambican squad and prowling himself on the left-hand side. But Isak is the man that I'll be looking to target, and let's hope Ali will be awake in as far as attacking that space to pick up the pieces behind Isak.
So, coach is looking for a good day here in Mauritius, and coach, well, came promises a couple of games ago, and they came through with their promise, came up with the big upset, leads the men in red here that will look for yet another big performance in giving us and themselves, most importantly, a memorable outing here at Egweed. Well, as far as Coach Martin is concerned, things haven't gone according to plan for he and his side. He's made the changes here to the starting 11, a good number of them, and we'll be hoping those changes will change their fortunes as they look to go out with a bang here this afternoon. So, as the action gets underway in what's been a rather entertaining group stages here, it's Mauritius that will attack the goal to the left of your picture, while Mozambique attack to the right. Up till yesterday, there were 16 matches played, 55 goals scored. Most goals in the game came yesterday in the earlier performance of the day, where Zambia and Seychelles served up 6 goals. Zambia winning 4-2 winners. In the game, they at one point were leading 4-0, only for Seychelles to score 2 late goals and have them sitting on the edge of their seats in waiting to see what will happen in this particular fixture, in as far as the battle of the race goes for the best second place team.
Now, this is the story that goes after the game. Avram Grant, the head coach of the Zambian team, he comes and calls down Moses Sishoni. He says, no, don't put too much pressure on them. They're young. They'll get better. That's the calmness that he has into that dressing room. Obviously, Shoni was very upset in how these players nearly let it go.
No, Mozambique here in these early stages putting together some nice passing, good movement as well. And at the end, the pass to God wide of the market from Telino, wearing the captain's armbands, wide on this near side. There he is with the 16 on his back.
So far, probably the best player that I've seen from Mauritius is the number 3, the left fullback, Palestino. Has been very, very impressive for me. Good energy, good endurance. You'll see him during the game. He's tirelessly running down the line, going up to assist in attack.
Well, they have another on the left side here. Jackson plays further afield. He is a busybody and is the man fouled here in the early stages.
Few players have been rested by Mozambique. Mesha, the right fullback, has been at it throughout the tournament. And Capucho obviously is brought in to replace him from that side, alongside just giving a balance and an opportunity to some that didn't have action. It's always a big achievement for any player to come into a tournament and to walk away without having even played a single game is always a disappointment. Mauritania wise in affording some of those players that opportunity today.
Well, no less than 6 changes, like you do say, to the lineup at the team in yellow, that being Mozambique, including the goalkeeper, Shogwe. Pasito, the man between the sticks here, having his first run in this tournament. Wearing the number 1 in his back. He'll be grateful for the opportunity as well. Plays for Club Ferroviário de Nampula.
Oh, the days of Machaken, Desportivo de Maputo, Ferroviário. Oh man, those were the days in the Mashava Stadium. Now, so many stadiums all over the province, but I mean, if you talk Maputo, and if you haven't seen Mashava Stadium, which is now like ruins, unbelievable.
Yeah.
You have to have been there, Siso Mapena, to capture what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The stadium is like there's a tunnel. The teams arrive from the outside and they go into the steps down into the dressing room, and then you walk up into the stadium to the noise as you come out of that tunnel of the steps. Man, oh man. I mean, if you don't have the should I say the guards for it? You melt, Siso Mapena.
Yeah.
People love football in that part of the region.
I guess it's quite an experience to go out there and play
listen,
there.
I've been there, Siso Mapena. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Of course, there's many that would have enjoyed some time out in the capital that will only tell you about the the fish market. Those that haven't gone to the stadium just yet, and I count as one of those. Went on holiday, wasn't on a football assignment or anything, Shongwe. Now, opening 5 minutes here. Both these sides still filling each other out. Interesting to note that it is Mozambique that seems to have hit the ground running. They've established their rhythm and flow. The quickest of these two sides spent the most time in the opposition half of the field in these early stages.
It's their game.
Yeah.
They're technically able, and what happens because they can play, so they're not afraid to push up and apply the high pressure. And even when they do lose it, there's always 3-4 players in around the area, as you can see right now. They're always looking, obviously, to win it back immediately.
Has been a skill to buy some time and space in the middle of the park as the men in red try to keep it moving then. Aristide with the 14 on his back, playing in the heart of midfield alongside Ruano Lang has come in for some nice touches. Now, pace on the far side then as Gianluca is brought to ground, looking to take on the defense. A little bit of pace into this game as Gianluca. Has played 11 minutes so far in this tournament ahead of this afternoon's clash. That being Gianluca came in to enjoy 11 minutes in the last encounter here for the Mozambicans. That was his first showing, didn't feature at all in the first match.
Siso Mapena. I can't help, obviously I mentioned just a few of the top teams from Mozambique that were very strong in days gone by. But Ferroviário is still pretty much there. In fact, you won't believe there's 4 Ferroviário named teams in the Premier League of Mozambique. Starting with the Ferroviário in Maputo, and in Nampula, in Beira, and there's another province that skips my mind as we look at the goalkeeper there of Mozambique picking it up. But you got to understand that the reason that Ferroviário stayed alive is because they are a railway company. So they've continued to operate and they've continued to help fund the football teams in all this region when they've got where they have offices. And it's almost the same nature of what has happened to Eswatini. The days of Manzini Wanderers, Mbabane Highlanders, obviously Mbabane Highlanders have grown because they've got a guy, Homongwe, who's now the chairman. He's South African. So finance has become a big part for football to survive. It's not like in the past, and we do appeal, of course, to business people out there that have a little bit of a pocket to not drop at the idea of supporting some of these teams. These are big names, they're institutions in these countries that can not afford to be forgotten.
Well, they are the Mozambicans. With the ball in then. Put the shots at the end of all of it. There is, but it's well wide of the mark. Best showing for the Mozambicans. Runners up back in 2015, semi-finalists in 2009 and 2007. Also semi-finalists in 2004. The last two showings saw them only getting as far as the first rounds. Also interesting to note that there has been a winner when these two nations have come together. Flag up from the far side official, Alex Lubunjani from Namibia. On the near side, we do have Alpha Sitole from South Africa. Of course, the match referee from Botswana, Kiabe Dintwa. Fourth official for this encounter from South Africa as well, Masitole Bambiso. Now, good out running on the near side. It's nicely done here. Just the one option in the box, so has to be really quick to pull in. Tell you what, it wasn't bad. And it's earned them the corner.
From the minute the ball was passed forward, he started looking across and he saw Isak available making a run. And the central two defenders of Mozambique had to be at their best in stopping the cross because Isak was lacking on the far side. Great opportunity and a good ball pinged beautifully into that center. It's a corner kick. Difficult to defend when you're facing your own goal.
Numbers towards the far post in red. And it's at that far post where Mozambique are able to defend that corner. Of course, we saw William Shongwe have the pleasure yesterday of speaking to one of the legends of Mozambican football, that being Tiko Tiko Bukwani, amongst the top goal scorers of all time in the tournament, behind the likes of Badenhorst. Tiko Tiko, of course, with 7 goals he scored for the Mozambicans. Interesting enough, Seda scored a goal for Lesotho earlier on in this group this year. His goal he scored gives him 7 goals all time on the list of COSAFA. Sees him tied now with Tiko Tiko on 7 goals. So interesting that Seda, who picked up an injury and couldn't play in the next game, is on 7 goals, the same as Tiko Tiko, as Lesotho top the group here ahead of Mauritius. Keep in mind, Mauritius need to win this game, score 4 to stand a chance to qualify for the semi-finals ahead of Zambia.
We know football is just that type of a game that is always full of surprises, should I say. But this one, I mean, I'm just thinking, what are the chances really, that Mauritius can hit all 4, having only scored 1 in the previous 2 games? And against the Mozambique side, that is not giving him too much ball possession.
Yep, and it's seen as a bit of a tough ask for this Mauritius side, but I'll tell you what, the Zambians will be watching, hoping that Mozambique are very much at their best here. Just looking at Mauritius, you mentioned just the 1 goal scored so far in this year's tournament. Last time they scored more than 1, William Shongwe, in a match, that being Mauritius, was against Angola in Windhoek back in 2016. Won that game with a 2-0 scoreline, with Torza and Sophie scoring. Looking for the last time they scored 4. When they did score 4, it was against the Seychelles with Kalembe, Pierre and Pitia scoring. That was in Kitwe back in 2013.
You must have been there.
Yeah, I was in Dola at that tournament,
yes. I heard your voice. I didn't make that trip.
Yep, Dola had a great time down in Zambia. Good movement on the far side. And the shot coming in then. Oh, great movement. both on the front foot and defensively for the keeper with the saves. And then, well, Azito conceding the corner. Mauritius beginning to ask some questions of that Mozambican defense.
He didn't have too many options, Isak. There was everybody else. In fact, the player that was making a run a little bit central seems to have been fouled. They're still down. So that's why he opted to go for glory himself from a very tight angle. He had it on target. It took the goalkeeper to put it over the bar.
Well, the man in a fair bit of pain here is Jackson. He's been fouled on a few occasions since this game got underway. He'll take his time before getting up here, but I do believe he still is mindful enough to remind the referee to show a card.
The thing is, it was an off-the-ball incident. I'm not sure how much of it will the referee have seen, because he was focusing on where the ball was.
Sign, and a good one is Jackson walking off the field, of course, to be allowed back on in the near future. Let's have a look at it again, central of your picture then. Eye on the attacker. It's an attack. It's clear what happened then. Tambuko, I believe it was, who stopped everything he was doing, had a good long look at Jackson before deciding to crash into him. Jackson didn't see it coming, Shane.
The thing is, Kambuko had no business. All he had to do was to run on his lane to try and provide some cover. Good catch by Fazito. Very confident one at that. Now, what I'm saying is that if only the ref had picked it up, I think that's bookable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also can be quite a bit of a shock to the system when you're running and three-quarters pace looking to the side, not aware of someone who's come to a dead halt in front of you, who's going to put their shoulder and weight into your chest.
Yeah.
That's opened up and not expecting, not bracing the hit at all. That's a serious hit. Now, ball in, it's a good ball. Very good ball. Then well defended. They'll have another chance at it. Ball across once again. There's a chance! Lost it over. Good chance this for the Mozambicans. And who has had the opportunities, Gianluca.
But once again, Mozambique continues to apply the pressure and a little bit of wing play from Telino, who's a good winger, who I like very much because he's not just there to cross the ball. He's one of those wingers that likes to take defenders on. And Gianluca on the far side, I think good ball control, first touch, but he takes the shot from a standing position, which is what I said earlier. If you're going to take a shot from a standing position, you're more likely to let your upper body backwards and the ball will go over. But if you run in, you'll always have a chance to keep it within the target because your head is always over the body. The coaches will tell you if you want to keep the ball low, put your head over the body and then follow up with the shot.
Which is why over the years we've hardly ever seen many penalty takers with the outer run-up. If it was possible and easy to do so, trust me, somebody would be doing it. Just standing next to the ball and kicking until the whistle goes.
True. But the running up obviously helps you generate a bit of power because you build some momentum.
Both men got stuck into the challenge there, and in the end, it's the man in red that came out second best then, claiming his innocence. There's Shaquille then, and it's good to see. So what looked like a victim in Francois is up and able to continue with the game. Just looking to run it off. news showing as to what's happening out at the Mozambique Stadium. Lesotho continue to make all the right noises at this year's tournament. They found the back of the net against Angola and lead Angola by a goal to nil, which takes them a step closer to a 100% win record in the group stages. What a year this could be for the nation of Lesotho in as far as the battle for supremacy in Southern Africa goes this year. Now, Jackson didn't get the best of connections.
Now, I'm starting to speculate now of what our semi-final is going to look like of the 4 teams. Obviously, Malawi right there, top, and Lesotho looking to claim all 3 games and puts them there. And now, up until we decide what's going to happen with the Zambians, which looks like they'll be there as well.
South Africa gets the winner.
Yes, and then let's say that's 4 top teams in this region, and I'm sure in their dreams they'll be hoping that they can pick Lesotho, not knowing that Lesotho has picked up their game, they've built, they've made the right noises.
Yeah.
And you don't want to try and stop a machine that is already on the roll like Lesotho are.
I do very much believe South Africa could be taking on the second place team, which will come from either Mauritius or Zambia.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be quite a fixture. Now, challenge of this near side, and well, Tambuko walks away from the scene of the crime after the challenge here. Oh, coming down with his foot. He's made contact with the opponent's face or chin. Bruno Lang, who was in quite some pain, I'm glad to report, seems to be okay right now. So, there you have it as it stands. Angola rock bottom, Mozambique just above them, Mauritius and Lesotho rounding up the top of Group C. Now, when we started this year's tournament, Sean, would you have guessed that order to be how we possibly conclude things here in the group?
I would have had Angola on top.
Yep.
Mozambique second, Lesotho third, Mauritius fourth. Which is what I said yesterday. It looks like it's been a tournament of the underdogs. But obviously, as the tournament progresses, boys can be separated from the men.
Tell you what, this one team came close to an upset, having led against South Africa, scoring in the second half of the encounter yesterday. And they look to be frustrating the South Africans going into halftime and into the second half. Once South Africa found the equalizer goal in the latter stages, you could see them then just pushing on to overwhelm the men from Eswatini. But there was points when...
What do you mean points? I mean that whole first half. They were being throttled, Bafana.
When I'm saying there were points, I mean in the second half when even I was beginning to think, hey, prepare yourself for the Eswatini upset here. It started to get to a point where you couldn't see where the equalizer was going to come from until it came.
Whatever happened, Eswatini started dropping and they stopped holding onto the ball like they did. And whether it was Bafana pressing or whether it just was a question of maybe Eswatini looking to hold on to that lead.
Or a bit of both.
You know, or a bit of both. But South Africa took full advantage of all the decision of the reactions that Eswatini had and started really mastering themselves to this football that we know they can. They really were deserving in that second half, towards the end in particular. Happy for Mabaso as well, whose goals dried up big time at club level.
Yeah.
So I'm sure going into the next season, he will be high up there with the best.
A couple of players have gone down on the far side. One of them is Gianluca, who will gingerly get back up onto his feet as his teammates look to keep it moving. Tambuko. Ezekiel. Gianluca gives and makes a little run of his own then. Ezekiel. There's Gianluca again. Oh, there's a threat of a run being made by the left back out to the far side, threatening to get it behind the defense, used as a decoy to stretch the men in red. Took the ground well, did Mauritius. Didn't lose shape. In the end, they are rewarded with a throw in here on the near side.
Because when you recycle a ball in that fashion, all you're trying to do is to push the opposition into areas that they don't want to be, or where you want them to be, forcing them to lose their shape. And the Mauritius, in this case, were very stable. They stuck to their guns and kept the shape.
Well, Gianluca thought the foul would be coming his way here. He's a little shell-shocked to find that he seemed to have committed the foul. Have a look at it again here. As he's trying to roll the defender. Yep. You see the referee's thinking. Also, the referee had a very good view on it, right in front of the action. Now, a little error defensively there, and Mauritius are in behind the defense again. They need a few men to come forward and support here. Good ball into the central areas. Flag up, offside. Looked promising for just a moment on attack for Mauritius. In the end, it's a come to nothing.
And unfortunately, that has been their problem. Challenge is that they can't recycle the ball much defensively. They always are forced to play it forward. They're a little bit too early and rushed, and playing it forward to a space where they don't have too many personnel to be able to maybe build up from the front.
Two nations we will miss and hope to see soon, shall we? I'll never stop mentioning the nation of Zimbabwe, one of the absolute best in Southern Africa, according to a record and opinion. Now, movement is good on this near side. Mauritius, again probe. Shots! Just wide. That was nicely done. As he waited and waited, did Aristide, for the opening then. And his patience was very nearly rewarded with an opener.
Only just unlucky there. It was hit nice and low. Reminds me of a goal scored yesterday against Eswatini by Mabasa, who struck it so well. And from almost the same type of range.
Well, here he is, Aristide, the man who plays for GRSC Wanderers. Doesn't miss by far. And, well, that's exactly what the coach is thinking then. Etienne Rasoa Naivo. As Steve losing out. Good hard running on that far side as Mozambique quickly look to get onto the front foot. Now for Mauritius, quarterfinalists back in 2001, Shangwe, quarterfinalists in 2004. Outside of those 2 years, never got beyond the first round. And win in the last match, their first win after 7 matches without a win. They hadn't won a game since beating Malawi in 2018. Of course, speaking of Malawi, William Shongwe, I got to see a few of the officials last night at the hotel, and I got to see the pictures of the celebrations in Blantyre following Malawi's topping the group, not winning a semi-final, not winning a knockout match, just topping the group. And the streets of Blantyre came to a standstill. Such were the celebrations out in Malawi at how happy they are, the way the team has just carried themselves. I think it wasn't just about the results yesterday, but in celebrating what looks a good Malawi side to believe in here going into the semi-finals. One of the favorites for the tournament in my book.
Consider the fact that positive results haven't been quite the situation for Malawi. It's been some time that they've celebrated anything positive in this tournament in particular. So that must have worked in that direction. It's football on the resurrection in that country.
Aristide, nicely involved in the middle of the park. By the way, Angola have found the equalizing goal in that game against Lesotho. It now sees the scoreline at 1-1 out at the Mozambique Stadium. 30 minutes gone by here at the Princess Makoko Stadium, and it's 0-0 between Mauritius and Mozambique. Gianluca now propping up in the most central area, fouled with the challenge from behind then.
What happens now? This drops Mozambique to the bottom now, because that will mean Angola has 2 points from the 2 draws.
Now, pull in. We were in the box, but with plenty more back defending for the men in reds. Jackson looking to close down here, but it's still Mozambique to push forward. Header! Just wide, lovely ball in then. Little bit more skin on that ball, and there could have been an opening goal then, and he knows it was a really good chance. Does Isaac.
Maybe lacking is a little bit of height from Isaac for him to get to that ball, because it was hit with pace and it fell for him. He was in between the 2 defenders and he got to it nicely, except for that maybe he failed to direct it in between the 2 sticks.
Also, it was nice with that header as he sent it rocketing into the ground. Already, that alone would have made life so difficult, especially at that pace for the keeper to get down and come up with the goods in the save. He just watched and prayed for the keeper. Fortunately, it was on the wrong side of the post. Ball play forward here by Pascal Balisson. Wide on the left for Mauritius. With every 10 or so minutes that go by, I think Zambia will secretly be having fist pumps at the team hotel watching this game, thinking more and more pressure from Mauritius to try and get 4 goals. It will seem more and more unlikely. And every time there was a big push forward into the final third, Zambia will be hoping just for that 1 goal that will knock the fight possibly out of Mauritius. This won't be that moment.
Did it take a deflection? Yes, looks like Mozambique has ended themselves a corner. You talk about the header from Isaac, how he still managed to head it down, and it's difficult for the goalkeeper. But I can't help but think back in 1970 in the World Cup. I think it was
1970.
in 1970. Yes. a game between Brazil and England. A header by the great Pelé, may his soul rest in peace.
Down in the ground and over.
And Gordon Banks, of course, came with that
Save.
world-class save. That still is spoken about in football circles.
Now, we're going into interesting territory. Years have gone by. In fact, quickly before we go there, Angola now leading Lesotho by 2-1. A more scored in that game. So Angola are looking for that solid ending to the group that will come with that performance we've all been waiting for. Today may be that day.
I say for me, still, there's quite some class in that team, and not just only in those players picked up, but in the football in that country. They're good footballing country. Football there is taken seriously. The right structures are being put in place.
That's a good ball, good movements. Support here from Jackson. Kept the attack alive here and found the teammate with the ball in field. So, as it stands then, Lesotho 6 points, Angola 4 points, Mauritius on 4, and Mozambique are currently on 2 as it stands. So, Lesotho's a side that was the first to score out at the Mozambique Stadium today. Angola have come from behind in the first half to lead with a scoreline of 2-1. Now, going back to that unbelievable save to deny Pele by Gordon Banks, the header. Growing up, having watched a good number of footballing documentaries, stories on Pele, stories on the World Cup, best goals in the World Cup, best saves at the World Cup. I believe that save has come up in one of the packages I've seen over the years as one of the best goalkeeping moments at a FIFA World Cup. Totally because of the header, how Pele got so well over it, sent it down into the ground, and you know, the goalkeeper, the expectation is you're going to go down with the ball. So for Banks to be able to shoot back up with it, unbelievable. And yes, I wasn't alive then, but I've seen that time and time again. It's etched into my mind, that save.
Now, let's start looking around now. The influence of Gordon Banks. How many goalkeepers have gone on to name themselves as Banks because of his popularity?
Was there Banks included?
Joseph Banks, a clothes of Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah?
Yes. And there's many more. There's many more. And in Eswatini, we had...
I didn't know that there was the association with Banks from England.
Yes.
Only now it's beginning to hit me. The joys of sitting alongside William Shaw.
There's in Eswatini, there's Mbuso, Banks, and Dlamini, who played for Manzini Wanderers just before I came into the picture. And there's another one that is in the back of my mind, and I'll think about it. But this is only the circles that I've been in. I'm trying to imagine how many more out there that were called by the name just because of his influence.
So you could bank on those guys.
1966, of course, was the best of the England side.
The World Cup winning side?
Yes. In England.
Yep. Now, by line, pull across. Numbers back here for Mauritius, make life difficult. Force Mozambique to go wide here, trying again find the telling header, and the men in red are able to deal. Now, oh, that's a beautiful goal. It's a stunning goal. One of the goals of the tournament in what's an absolutely brilliant touch. Brilliant. It's gotten them up off their feet. And it's special from Ali.
You know what? Some of the actions just keep reminding me instances. 1988, World Cup final, European Cup. Netherlands versus Russia, if I'm not mistaken. The Netherlands striker
Van Basten.
Van Basten, almost as similar because he was in an angle that was tight, but he got it so nicely that it went above the goal into that far post. That is class. No chance for
That is
whatsoever.
absolute magic. Brilliant.
Any other word that can use? Magic, brilliant.
Mind-blowing.
This one, we have a collection of those terms, just
Exquisite.
one back to back. Exquisite, yes. Top it up.
Top draw stuff from Ali as Mozambique grabs the lead against Mauritius here. And Zambia, not too far off from here. 12 or so Ks.
More fist
South.
pumps.
Yep, they not only have fist pumps, they breathe a huge sigh of relief. They were signs, of course, of Mozambique possibly being the first to score here. Now Jackson in behind the defense. Here is Jackson! Good save. Chance to get the equalizer then tonight. By a great piece of goalkeeping from Fazito. Two good saves he's made to deny Mauritius now. Two very good chances they've created in this half. Flag up both sides. Also believe I'd seen that goal you spoke of earlier of Marco van Basten. Hence I could help you out with the name then. But what a generation of players those were. Van Basten, Gullit.
Yeah.
The trio of them that were at AC Milan in the late 80s, late 80s. And again, that AC Milan team just wasn't fair. Marco Perezi and a young Maldini, and no, just wasn't fair. Now, all over the top here, there's a save to deny Mauritius again. Jackson did well.
I'm telling you, Jackson has been brilliant. This is very quick, he's skillful, but for me, as a wide player, how he finds himself playing a little bit narrow, which is why he picks up some of these through passes to be face to face with the goalkeeper.
Now, chance at the counter-attack once again here for Mauritius, but for some good positional play defensively from the Mozambicans, who will now be aiming to take the lead into the halftime break, no doubt. Here's our goal scorer, and what a goal it was that he scored now with a lovely ball out to that far side. It's got the Mozambicans pushing forward here with numbers getting in the box. Ball in! Keeper's done enough. In fact, keeper's been fouled. Gianluca, the man who's offering his apologies then. Jean-Louis, the man who fell victim to the challenge from the Mozambican. Quality ball in here. Well, he wasn't marked. Slightly bitter ball there. There could have been problems. Jean-Louis did well and was brave to dealing with the ball that was played in. There will be a minute added on to the end of this first half. Not happy, far from happy. If his body language is anything to go by, Brown Lang. Now, Mozambique losing out to the middle of the park then, so could be one last attack here for Mauritius. Couldn't find the eye of the needle with that pass. Guanonang. Now, pushing forward here on this near side. Telinho. Interesting run on that far side and good work defensively in allowing that ball to go out for the goal kick at the last play of this first half. And well, Mauritius came into the half knowing they need 4 to stand a chance to get into the group stages. And a couple of good chances and some good saves from Jean-Louis and Fazito denying the men from Mauritius as well. But although that was happening, Mozambique were able to find the back of the net with a well-taken goal from Ali. A brilliant little lob over the keeper, came up the inside of the post to find the back of the net. And at half-time here at the Princess Makoko Stadium, it's Mauritius that have it all to do now if they're going to get into the semi-finals, trailing Mozambique by a goal to 0. Well, it's an interesting ending to Group C and to the group stages at large in this year's HOLLYWOODBETS COSAFA Cup, as well at half-time on our last day in Guamashu at the Princess Makoko Stadium. It's Mauritius that needed the goals here, needed the win after 45 minutes of play. It's, Mauritius that chased the game here. Early on in the half, Jackson involved. So as LSD there, who shrugs off a couple of challenges here and unleashes a shot that very nearly gave Mauritius the opening goal of the encounter. There's positive play here by Aristides. Had a good game in the middle of the park for Mauritius. And of course, Mozambique did have their moments, and they certainly came close here with that header just going wide of the mark. Then got up so well. Then just didn't get enough contact on it. Did Isak to direct this on the right side of the post? Keeper would have had no chance with that. Especially when the goal came, it came from Ali. And it was a brilliantly taken goal, then and deserve it for this Mozambican side here. How's that? From a difficult angle, brilliantly done. As he finds the inside of the post and gets a little help in giving the Mozambicans the lead. A ball over the top here. Jackson with the lovely movement off the ball, and he's got the great chance, and it's denied from some top-notch goalkeeping from Fazito. Showing good pace then. And Jackson, and then Fazito made himself nice and big after having come off that line to come up with the goods in the save. Now, let's have a look at the numbers. And it's Mozambique that have more of the ball, that also have more goal attempts, although Mauritius do have more on target. But Mozambique, they'll be happy with the lead here. They love the way they're controlling this game, and would like to build on that going forward, of course, into the second half.
Mr. Timothy Shongwe is here with me at the break, who is also the executive member of COSAFA. There's a lot that we've said about the success of COSAFA in as far as just the organizing committee. But what is one thing that you can put a finger on that has improved from all the hard work done behind the scene? I'm talking about the development of the sport and the players themselves.
Thank you, William. There's quite a lot. I can speak about our successes till the cows come home. But the recent ones that they come to my mind is not only just the football in itself. Remember our referees. We have had senior referees that have handled senior competitions at CAFI level. Gomez, one of them, Martins, another one, Joshua Bondo, another one. And in terms of the football itself, we have managed to get our women teams, South Africa, Zambia, into the World Cup. South Africa is the second time they've been to the World Cup. And remember when you had teams like Comoros, when they started playing here in COSAFA, I mean, they will be receiving 10, 6-0, 7-0 from the other teams. They have qualified for the African Cup of Nations before.
Indeed.
And they did very well. So we do see both successes on the pitch and as well as outside the pitch. And for us, this is what we aspire for, and this is what we want to keep going, and this is our business as football. We would like to go and improve football as much as possible. We're running 8 competitions now in COSAFA, including beach soccer, and we have schools competitions now. So really, COSAFA is growing, not only taller but wider and bigger.
Some of the struggles, of course, is financially. I'm talking about now in general for most of the regions in the continent. How has COSAFA continued to bring this kind of success during such a very tough economic climate?
Look, it's not easy. It's very, very difficult. As you probably aware that after COVID, a lot of people and a lot of companies started looking at their expenditures.
Exactly.
And as in COSAFA, we had to also look at how we present our competitions. It's just very difficult to run competitions.
Yes.
But then, of course, we have to sit back and look at where you can adjust and where you can make it easier. With whatever package, sponsorship package you receive, you try and make sure that you cut here and there, so that you continue to have competitions for our region. Otherwise, would like to thank SAFA, South Africa, for having been able to host us, because that really assisted us a lot. Because if you probably remember during the COVID, we were the only zone that managed to organize competitions during that period. So it's not easy, it's tough, but we just have to go on, keep going.
Now, this is a personal one. I know you've been involved with this competition for the longest, but I'm thinking to myself, Mr. Shongwe, I haven't seen any of your name in all the other beats in as far as the football in Eswatini. With your experience, surely you must be dreaming about some of those.
William, I'm just one person who, concentrate and focus on myself most of the times. If I'm good at what I'm doing, I want to be even better tomorrow. So I don't know what people are seeing in me, but I believe in me. I believe that every day, like when I'm doing what I'm doing today, I want to be better tomorrow. So my dream is to become better, even much better tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shongwe. Ubaleka nelwapo. Sisho njalo ngeSiswati, but thank you so much.
No, I am involved in football back home in Eswatini. I speak to the president every now and again. I speak to other people in football. So I do contribute in my small way in our football in Eswatini. It's my country. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, they are entertained here on the last day for the COSAFA Cup here in Guamash. We'll be back with the second half on the other side of this. Well, the second half about to get underway here to the Princess Makoko. The last 45 minutes at this venue of this year's COSAFA Cup. Mozambique who are in the lead to get the matters underway in the yellow, attacking the goal to the left of your picture, while Mauritius in the reds will attack the goal to the right. Now, bottom of your screen then, the starting 11s of both these sides. You would have noted there will be no changes to either side in the starting 11s. Goal that came late in the half from Mozambique, who now lead. Of course, thanks to that brilliant piece of artistry from Ali. Enough to a front foot here. They've got themselves the corner. But the Mozambicans, chance to send some big men forward. All happening in the other game, concluding Group C, out at the Mozambique Stadium. The Lesotho were the first to score, go into the lead. Angola came back, made it 1-1, and then Angola went on to lead before the end of the halftime break. We'll be keeping tabs on that scoreline out at the Mozambique Stadium, and of course giving you a look at how the group looks overall. Now, Gianluca got it wrong then with what looks something in between a cross and a shot. At the same time, operating out wide on the left side, the man who had enjoyed just 11 minutes of COSAFA Cup football ahead of this afternoon's encounter. Jackson on the move out to the far side, having to check his run. In the central areas, Ezekiel. Martinho. Ezekiel. Taken here by Ali. Where there was a big on to get the throw on the far side. Now, could be a chance here. That's got skill, and that had gone up anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. But almost a big looking to stretch the lead here. Interesting ball, great movements, could be a chance. Up for the flag going up once again, this time to deny Ali, so nothing will come of yet another attack for the Mozambicans, but they certainly are looking to extend their lead here. They are looking for a good outing in the way of the departure from this year's COSAFA Cup. It is what's made things rather interesting in this group, William Jean-Way. Yes, there's been the upsets with the underdogs as Jackson pushes forward, gets to the byline, solid work defensively.
Best player in the Mauritian side is Jackson in just about every sense. Tactically, technically, I mean, he's still got that speed about him, he's got strength, he's a complete player. Except for maybe that he doesn't have height that can play a bit more central, but yes, you don't want the wingers that are lanky because that means they'll be slower. So that fits him because when you're attacking a fullback, You need to have that agility and speed. He's got all that.
Good goalkeeping.
Ah, it's a good catch. Remember, with the goalkeeper, yes, you got your eyes on the ball, but underneath you, there's just so much movement, and the slightest of touches and will put you off, and you drop the ball. But when you see a goalkeeper being able to hold the ball in that fashion, it tells the story of the level of confidence.
Was going to make the point a little earlier as Mozambique left dangerously here. Mauritius with a chance. Keeper doesn't hold on, and a goal-saving challenge out of the far post.
Yeah, when it gets a little bit too easy, I think that's what's the case now with Mozambique. They seem to be, they feel like they're in charge, and they're forgetting that they still have to play the game according to the book. And I think they dropped the ball in that sense where they lost ball position, and as a result, they nearly got conceded.
Hit the ball just enough. The defender then shot it. And well, the last touch coming off the attacker, so it went out for the goal kick in the end. But well, Mozambique very nearly playing themselves into all sorts of trouble and very nearly bringing Mauritius right back into this match. Went as far as the final in 2015. Finished runners-up to the Mozambican side. That's the only time they got to a final. Just looking for the last time they actually won a match. I believe they won a win over Namibia in Kabeja back in 2021 was their last win. Since then, they when they got with Belita scoring the only goal of that match, they lost 3-0 to South Africa in Kabeja. Following that, played a 1-1 scoreline with Eswatini in the third and fourth playoff. 0-0 with South Africa in the quarterfinals in Durban last year. Lost 1-0 to Namibia and played 1-1 in the third and fourth playoff with Senegal. Well, it's all happening out at the Mozambique Stadium. Angola now leading Lesotho in what is a 5-goal thriller, 3-2 the scoreline out at the Mapila Stadium. I'm thinking of a match that. Left it a little late, the Angolans, but they've certainly made a statement on their way out. Place to be is the Mozambique Stadium. Fortunately, we do have a team that is out there covering the action with Bafana, of course, in a commentary. 5 goals in that match. If you are just joining us, 3-2 the scoreline as Angola lead Lesotho.
Impressive, eh? From Angola, from failing to score. Okay, scored 1 in the first game, and they struggled in that second game, and suddenly now they scored 3. You know, it's, once again, for me, the competition of this nature is when you're walking into them, you play that first game, and there's a lot that you get wrong. But as you play another game, suddenly the combinations start improving, and I think that was the case for Angola. Even Mozambique, I think they find themselves in that very same situation.
And you get the impression that they are much better than the account they gave of themselves in the opening 2 games with the result against Lesotho. Because we know Lesotho play a good brand of football this year. They are a tough side, as is the case, a tough match. 3-2 means it's a good battle out in the central part of eThekwini.
Living their best for last, unfortunately. In this case, is a costly one.
Soon a change will be made.
There are situations whereby you can live the best for last,
Yeah.
but not in football.
Nah. Football, you save the best for last, you find yourself relegated or out of a tournament.
Marumo Gallants, in as
Yep.
far as the DSTV Premiership,
Mhm.
they were unbelievable. Playing Confederation football.
Got 1-2 then on that far side. Nothing coming of it just yet. So a good job of keeping alive here, Mauritius. As I say that, they lose out here. So you were making the point about Gallants.
Yes, about how they started so badly, but the way they played towards the finish,
Yeah.
I mean, bowing out in the semi-finals of Confederations Cup. That for me is like the dream of every team, and yet, unfortunately, if they had only played well from the beginning, they should have accumulated enough points to have not been worried about relegation. But it was a little too late as they fight.
Had the pleasure of interviewing the president of Marumo Gallants during the earlier part of the year, this year, and asked him going into this year about the position on the log. Still with the Netbank Cup to come, and of course now the travels in such the Confederations Cup, and whether that wasn't a distraction. He said no. The view of the club was that they would use that to rub off on the other as inspiration. How well they did in the Confederations Cup and such. And neither were doing well, and he even went as far as to say many of the teams that played against them couldn't believe their league position out on the continent because they had such quality.
But maybe what he didn't factor in is that these players are human beings. The number of games that they were playing, the traveling, the lack of recovery was eventually going to take its toll to the players.
Well, as it stands, Lesotho still sitting on top of the world, so to speak, in inverted commas, in as far as Group C, even with Angola leading them out at the Mozambique Stadium, Mozambique. With the scoreline being what it is here, we'll get one up on Mauritius.
So it's only Mauritius that was a possible threat. In as far as if they win this game, they could be at least level on points to Lesotho. So otherwise, the other two that are winning right now are only fighting for the second spot.
Yes, sir. Also, it says a lot for Mauritius to have come into the day hoping to get the goals in the win that sees you qualify for a semi-final spot. Here you are losing 1-0 and suddenly you're bottom of the group. Never mind making a semi-final. You might end the group dead bottom or rock bottom, I should say. So Ali, the man that scored that wonderful goal, will be making way here. He'll be replaced by Melo. Daniel Melo in off the bench. One of a couple of changes that is going to come into effect. Luca is the other man that's coming off. And Trevason is the man that will come on in his place. So he's yet to play a full 90 minutes and won't play a full 90 minutes in this tournament, Gianluca. Good close down from the front here. Good spirit shown as well from Brown Land. celebration as he forced the mistake out of the opponent. He was clapping and trying to urge his teammates forward. Keep in mind they are losing by a goal to nil, and he's still showing good leadership qualities. On the hour mark, Mozambique still leading through that breathtaking goal from Ali. So, drama aplenty in this group, and there'll be drama all the way through to the last by the look of it in the battle, at the very least, out at the Mozambique Stadium. Mauritius with more shots on target than Mozambique, yet it's Mozambique that lead here at the Princess Makoko Stadium. Nice crowd that's now come out to that far side, Shongwe, on the grass embankment. Well, they're in a nice group, wearing shorts, flip-flops, t-shirts, lovely weather, and there are a good number out on that far side that have taken up a comfortable position, Shongwe. What you have to love about this venue, you can bring your camping chair, you can bring a blanket, lie down, and even a pillow if you want. Angle of the pass was wrong. Jackson, manhandled up to the far side. In the games we've covered with Mauritius playing, it's amazing how often Jackson gets fouled. I do believe he could very well be the most foul player for Mauritius.
All these kind of players, because of the explosive nature, and they play into the areas where most maybe are not able to. He's not afraid. That's why he uses his pace to good effect. So you will be found wanting. You will beat other defenders, and in the process they'll tackle you. They'll bring you down.
Now, with the pace pushing forward here. Good movement on the overlap. Ball in. Oh, good save. Another shot. And somehow Mauritius is able to deal with the danger.
He can't believe it. He can't believe that he couldn't just pass that ball into the back of net, Isak. Great goalkeeping though.
Oh, wow. Pressure into his teammate's face, but the original chance. The original chance, Shongwe, falls for Shaquille here wearing the number 23. Look at how he improvises. In that the ball is actually played behind him. He brings his right foot across from behind him to make the connection with the ball. Now, overlapping run. Keep your eye on number 23, Shaquille, and the first connection he makes. Boom, from behind. Extend.
And that's why that makes it a great save from the goalkeeper. So you don't expect somebody to turn the heel back in that fashion. And yet Jean-Louis was still ready to react to it. It was a reactional save more than anything.
Bonde is the man on. That's good football all around, and unlucky then for Shaquille, who goes to ground that his teammate Isak bangs the ball into his face, and he unwittingly makes the save. Oh, I love that improvisation. Love the save as well. Would have been a brilliant goal at that corner. Would have been two brilliant goals for the Mozambicans, and execution of both of them.
But the good thing for me is just the individual effort about some of these players that are making, but the speed and the skill that it's being operated right. The left-hand side of the channel for Mauritius is the best, starting with Balison, the left back, and then going a little forward, Jackson.
There's Jackson. Hard running on the far side, looking for the 1-2. Space on this near side for Rivasone. He's been nicely involved since coming on as a second half sub. Ezekiel keeping it moving to the far side. Pace coming into the game here for the Mozambicans. They probe still, fighting for the shots. It's gone over from Bonde. So the new men on the fields are doing a good enough job here to keep Mauritius on the back foot, and Mozambique again looking the most likely to possibly score again. Flag up, offside against Jackson. Now, pull over to the near side with Danilo. Travisoni. Mauritius will be making a double sub in the near future. Fouled in for the challenge towards this near side. A good area here for the Mozambicans to try and go ahead and create something that could lead to a second. Tivrasone, I suspect, is the man that's down.
Yeah, it looks like him. When you have Telinho on the left-hand side and Nelson on the right, they alternate in these wide positions. And he's coming in, he's fresh, he's been featuring, I think, in all the previous games. So today didn't start the game. And I can see that he started with a little bit of a boom and getting himself into all kind of trouble with the fouls against him.
So Mandif on, and Jackson will make way here for Marie-Francois. Louis Jackson, who's been a busybody and amongst the most impressive for Mauritius at these championships, has had his last involvement.
Bit strange. Not unless maybe he's carrying an injury of some sort. I thought he was still pretty much in there with a big chance. He was creating havoc on the left-hand side, maybe because Nelson has made an entries and operating on that side. I didn't think he'll be an option to be taken out because Nelson has just got himself injured.
Yeah. Bundes turns over this. Could look for a teammate. Could try and get the beating to the keeper on the near or far side. Difficult effort if he is to try it. Looks for the teammates! To be honest, they should have had goal number 2.
Question once again, Isak, how does that one stay out? He gets ahead of everybody else. He jumps freely. I mean, he's right almost underneath the goalpost.
Nice challenge on this near side to win the ball, and eventually was fouled with Danilo, as he kept it away from Francois. So, as things stand, we know Lesotho are through, we know Malawi are through, we know South Africa are through, and it's looking a whole lot like Zambia are through as well. With 20 minutes remaining in this match, and Mozambique is looking to seal that by scoring yet another. Cross is overcooked. Need a better quality with the ball in. Danilo. From range, it's a lot of traffic for the ball to have to make its way through. So, the Zambians, I think, would have been breathing a sigh of relief and been a whole lot more relaxed with the scoreline being what it is past the 1 hour mark of this match. William Chongwe, including the fact that Mozambique are enjoying so much of the ball and keeping Mauritius on the back foot. Mauritius looking to hit with the odd counter attack. Zambia will now start to confidently think ahead and start to plan ahead. Coach Shoni, I think, is now a man that's cutting away to the final if he can.
If he's a man that likes to maybe indulge a little bit on the type of drinks, I'm sure he will be afforded
one?
at least one. Not to maybe abuse it, but as a
No.
form of relief.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, the man is going to meet me in the passage. We, by the way, stay in the same hotel, so we bump into one another a lot in those passages.
So, only thing that remains to be concluded as things move along here is who faces who. We'll be returning to Umlazi and the Kings Walitini Stadium. And, well, that looks a handball.
A little bit of a handball, it looks like, as that ball looked to evade him. Tried to help it, bring it down with a bit of a shoulder and arm.
Number 10 with the handball. That's okay. Wouldn't quite remind you of the hand of God since it didn't find the back of the net. Since you've been thinking of all these great World Cup moments of the past during the course of today, William Shongwe. Of course, that goes back to a rivalry that started back in the '66 World Cup that you spoke of. When England won in the '66 World Cup, on the way to winning it, they came across Argentina, and things didn't go down well between those two nations. Then there was the war, the Falklands War as well, that didn't help matters, so the rivalry was very much alive and kicking. So by the time Maradona came along with that little hand of God, it was just another spanner in the works, another reason to just push the rivalry onto the next generation and the next and the next, and it's continued ever since those nations came together. Then you remember there was the David Beckham incident against Argentina where he was sent off at a World Cup. Was it '06, the Michael Owen World Cup, where he was on fire?
I can't help but think back the coach then for England, Bobby Robson, and flying back from that World Cup, he couldn't stop cursing Maradona.
But it takes some nerve as well as Maradona to turn around, look the world media in the eye and say that was the hand of God. Takes some nerve, and that's what makes Maradona.
Yeah.
Cheeky. So, it's looking as though it is South Africa's Zambia. In the semi-final, William Shongwe. Take your pick as to who your favorite is. I won't. I'll try and walk into that one as a neutral.
Listen, to win, to be the best, you got to go through the best. That is just, for me, the way to think about this. You can't just keep, working your way around and then suddenly are in the final. No, to go there, you must earn it. So whoever makes it to the final, I know between those two, they will have earned it.
Then Lesotho Malawi. And change the major. Momade will come on for Machava. So off day tomorrow, William Chongwe will grab his shorts, his t-shirt, his surfboard, go out into the water.
I'll try. Listen, it's been how many days? Like back to back, eh?
Yeah, since last week Wednesday.
Every day.
Yeah.
And we're still standing. At least I can give you that.
Well,
For somebody that's been rusty for so a long time.
yeah.
You know?
Thanks. Loves having a good company, you know. I don't necessarily mean in the commentary booth. I mean just in the team we're with. It would be great if I had good company in the commentary booth. But you take what you get. I kid, William Shawman. Appreciate you sitting alongside me.
Listen, Mozambique. You know what? The coach way forward. He will know exactly what to work on. Improve the combinations in the final third. You know, as far as the build-up and everything, and the way that they keep ball position, the passing accuracy and precision is just all there. It all goes well for way forward, in as far as your planning.
Well, Afide picks up a yellow card as he makes his way off the field. Then he's challenged, giving away the set piece. That's his last involvement in the match. He can play Afide. There's been moments when I've been very impressed with his play. On in his place, Yannick Astride. And Nazira will make way for Bagla. Meanwhile, Mozambique will be looking for goal number 2.
Which has been eluding them. A direct one there is a possibility.
Well, it's direct. Keep it up behind it beautifully.
Oh, gives it away poorly. St. Louis.
If the commentator could get $1 for every time you praise the player, then the very next play, the very next moment, just after you praised him, he does something like that.
And you lose.
Oh, we'd be rich. Nice challenge. Very well read here on this near side. After them when they played it in, and in the end, the flag's up for offside. Great attack from Mauritius, by the way. That's how in control Mozambique have been in this match here in the second half.
Every now and then we see some quality about them. But what can be said maybe is the conditioning part that hasn't helped them to live up to the 90 minutes. But as individuals, you've seen some great players in that Mauritius side. They just need to be better as a team. Another one that Lewis gives away.
Managing challenge then late and could very well be worth the card. It is. No question. Your card was necessary. Then maybe a bit of frustration beginning to filter through here for some of the Mauritian players. But now the man just on. Now on a yellow. Nice space to turn then, and in the end the run being made could still cause further problems. Keeper thought about coming out, had to check that movement out wide. Well, they're still trying to find the angle and space for a shot here. The Mozambicans, as Mauritius pick it up and now look to play it out. There's a nice run being made on this near side. Butler pushing forward here, head up. Oh, he's not the defender! He looks to play it. In the end, he's skied it. Well, just come on.
Regardless, that I missed, but for me, you know what? Just earlier on, he was face to face with the goalkeeper. Yes, there might have been an angle tied to it, but he pulls it inside and then it opens up a little wider. But that was just enough maybe to get the defender a little bit closer to put him off. But now, for me, could have gone for it. Pulls it backwards to his weaker foot, unfortunately.
Well, he's frustrated with himself. Did have a good look. So we come back in a couple of days' time. After William spend some time in the surf tomorrow. Out at the King Zulitini Stadium for the semi-finals. Then we are off for another day. William Shongwe will catch more waves. Maybe down Pelito side, you never know with Shongwe. And come back Sunday for the final, William, and conclude matters in the way of the 2023 COSAFA Hollywood Bets.
Big event. Talking to Mr. Timothy Shonge, who's the executive member of COSAFA, has just been grateful to the municipality and SAFA as the ruling body of football in this country for allowing these COSAFA games to be held in South Africa. It is one thing to speak to the individual sponsors, but it is another to get permission from the ruling body.
Now, there's a chance! Super save. Save of the match. Point blank range, then takes up his position, stands firm, and denies the Mozambicans what could have been a celebration through Dayo. What a ball, though. What a ball.
Good angle, good, well positioned, had his hands up. If the ball is dropping, it's in mid-air, you pick up your hands a little bit higher, just to give yourself a chance. It's more likely to hit it there, and that's what Luis did there. I mean, listen, there's no question about his ability to catch the ball. Every now and then he gives ball position away through his kick, but for the years that I've seen him, I've always thought, you know what, I think he deserves a little better in his career. Maybe a chance here in South Africa, but now he's like a little bit advanced in years. If it would have been at the beginning stages of his career, maybe. You know. Just maybe.
So group stage is now going to a halt. We have been entertained thoroughly in these group stages. Things will get a bit more intense as regard to the semi-finals in a few days' time, but keep in mind, South Africa, Botswana, Eswatini, and Namibia got the action rolling in Group A. South Africa at the top, Botswana second, Eswatini third, and Namibia rock bottom. Then we also had Group B that had Malawi entertaining and finishing top ahead of Zambia, Comoros, and Seychelles. Group C has seen Lesotho qualifying. Lesotho will be the only to qualify from this group. We'll have the likes of Angola, Mozambique, and Mauritius rounding up the group. There you have it. That's how it looks for the time being. Lesotho running into a tough Angola that wasn't willing to just lie down and hand over the win on their way out. They wanted to make a statement on the way out. Angola, they're making it now currently at the Mozambique Stadium. Mozambique themselves are doing likewise here against Mauritius as they put their best foot forward. Nice skill on the far side. That's beautifully done in avoiding like that 2 or 3 opponents before eventually winning the foul. Well, he just kept going. Yannick Castrida, he went in off the bench, fresh legs, eliminating one after the other. He had done 3 and before a 4th brought down. Winning the set piece. Mauritius looking for the equalizer.
Once again, comes up, blocks it at its highest point, which is always a good exercise for a goalkeeper. And listen, make no mistake, in the goalkeeping department, Mozambique seems to be well accomplished. I mean, he hasn't played a game, and he plays the last one, and he's obviously been given a chance for having traveled with the team being here, and he didn't disappoint. I think going forward, he'll still be the main member. First, if not second.
Going to the last 2 minutes of the group stages. Mauritius still pushing forward here on this near side. Danilo. In the last of the 90 minutes of this match, we'll be waiting on the sign and how much time will be added on to the 90. Mauritius still trying to find their first of the encounter here. Well, that's showing challenge. I mean, yellow card it will be. And, well, they're not happy with that challenge. Aristide will need to be calmed down then, but the man that could be in trouble here is Martinho, wearing the number 13 from the Mozambicans. He's been called over by the best referee, Tindra. We'll just show him a yellow card. Getting themselves into trouble in the end. looking to make up for an error. Went in, started showing with the challenge. It's those sort of mistakes at this late stage of the match that times are costly and give away goals when all seemed in control, keeping in mind that the Mozambicans lead by just the one. So a good set piece here from Mauritius, and Mozambique will be kicking themselves. Really at a minute to 3 added on to the 90. Gone by. Can Mauritius come up with the best part of the afternoon here with this set piece? Well, it took a shot. Keeper had it covered. In fact, it's out for the corner, but it needed to be dealt with. In a hurry to get the corner taken. The men in red. Bowling, difficult to bring back across the box as we look back at that set piece then. Pasito, it is with the save. Angola have scored one more against Lesotho. They now lead with a 4-2 scoreline, and my goodness, talk about making a statement on their way out. And of 30 seconds now remaining in the group stages of the HOLLYWOODBETS COSAFA Cup of 2023. There you have it. The COSAFA Cup of 2023 will come to an end for both these nations. For Mauritius, well, they will love the fact that they came up with the upset, had the beating of the Angolans here, and came into this final day with a chance at possibly getting into the semi-finals. Wasn't to be, though, with Mozambique looking to end their disappointing showing in the group stages on a positive note, and for Mozambique it was to be their day. Beautifully taken goal by Ali, and a good contest in a Group C of this year's COSAFA Cup comes to an end with all these sides having reason to have their heads held up high for the way they competed. At the end of it all here, we bid farewell to the Princess Makoko Stadium with a scoreline reading 1-0 between Mozambique and Mauritius. Mozambique the winners. Well, from the get-go, Mozambique played the better football. They seemed in control of the match, and when they scored the goal, it was a thing of beauty. Lovely touch onto the inside of the post, and they were up and dancing at that point where the Mozambicans. Ali with the movement and the genius in touch of the crossbar and the post, I suspect. Well, for Mauritius, they tried here. Some of their best moments, obviously, at Jackson involved, and he's brought the save out of Pasito. Keeper came out, made himself big, and denied Mauritius in one of their better chances in this game. Well, Mozambique is pushing forward late in the day here. In the second half, lovely run here and a lovely ball in, and well, great improvisation, and then terribly unlucky for Isak to bang this ball into the face of Shaquille, who had improvised perfectly for the first shot on target. That was beautifully saved by the keeper. There you go. Then the bad luck for the Mozambicans with the follow-up shot. Lovely goal, great chance, superb goalkeeping. Jean-Louis with a top order save then to keep it at 1-0 in favor of Mozambique here. And well, they certainly had chances to stretch their lead, and both these sides made for a good contest on their way out of this year's COSAFA Cup. Mauritius with much more of the ball. Mozambique with more in the way of shots on target, slightly more, and more goal attempts than they will both feel they could have done more in front of goal than with Mozambique, having good reason to believe they could have scored at the very least 2.
Our Players of the Match award goes to Danilo Muze and Siyabonga Sangweni, formerly known or playing for Orlando Pirates and a legend of this game in South Africa, is here to present it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Muze, my brother, great game overall on your left full-back position, and a much better game today, and only that the goals were not forthcoming, but as a game it was proper.
Foi bom jogo. Como é que fizeste para aguentar os 90 minutos? Tínhamos ter tido mais golos, mas não conseguimos. Como é que tu viste o jogo?
Estou muito feliz por ter ganho o prêmio de melhor jogador em campo e estou orgulhoso de mim mesmo. E falando do jogo, estamos de parabéns pela vitória e.
He said that he's so happy to win the game and to win the player of the match. It was a tough and a good game for Mozambique team.
Maybe a quick one as well is that today the team looks better in every aspect. The combinations from the back, the entries up front. What would have been the problem coming into this competition in the last 2 games?
Diz que a seleção hoje esteve muito bem em todos os aspectos, tanto a defender assim como a atacar. O que acha que terá falhado para os outros 2 jogos que nós fizemos, porque hoje estivemos muito bem?
Bom, nós trabalhamos durante a semana, trabalhamos a jogo após jogo para que tudo saia perfeitamente e nós conseguimos acatar tudo aquilo que me deu e
he said that we work play by play and we listen everything that the coach said to us. It's not the result that we want to go to home, but it's football.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you.
And coming, of course, is the coach of Mauritius. And at this stage, the interpreter is still coming. And coach, great game overall for me. Yes, you were not able to score, but it's brilliant. I'm sure you must be happy. But my biggest question is now, with this performance, what are you going to do to maintain it going home? Are there going to be friendly games or other competitions coming up for you to profit from?
Excellente performance lors de ce tournoi. Vous avez perdu, mais pas démérité. Avec les leçons tirées de ce tournoi, qu'allez-vous faire de cela? Et y a-t-il des compétitions que vous allez appliquer cela?
Bien sûr, je dois remercier les membres de COSAFA d'abord qui ont donné le tournoi. Et je pense qu'on a très bien joué, mais très satisfait, même on a perdu. Mais l'objectif, c'est les Jeux des îles et bientôt à Madagascar. mais je dois remercier mes joueurs d'abord.
Yes, we played well. Even though we lost, we are satisfied with our performance. And our next objective is the island games that will take place in Madagascar. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank COSAFA for the opportunity that they've given us, and also to thank my players as well.
Et personnellement, je dois remercier les dirigeants COSAFA.
And personally, I express my thanks to COSAFA management for everything that they've done for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Merci, coach.
Thank you very much.
And of course, next is Martina. Martin. Yes, the coach of Mozambique. You know, I'm sure today you got everything that you wanted. The players responded well to in as far as the instructions and the tactical approach, but the goalkeeper on the opposite side made it very hard for you to get all 2 goals.
Okay, let me say congratulations my players, because they deserve to win this match. Although we didn't score all the opportunities that you create, a lot of chance. So 1 goal, especially in the last 5 minutes, I was putting my arm on my head, on my chest, to see that hey, everything could happen. But so we changed. So those changes that we made for the last first 11 that we played against Lesotho today, there was physical and good performance. That's why so we played very well, even in transition, defense to attack, from to attack to defense was okay.
Coach, the last thing I want to find out from you, it's sometimes it's not about winning a competition, it's not about winning a game, but it's about seeing the products that is produced from your work of coaching. What are some of the things that you are very excited about doing this job?
Well, it's not my job alone. It's a job for different coaches that we have got in Mozambique.
That's right.
I'm working with the players since under 17, under 20. So those boys are here, many of them, so I know them. That's why I'm saying that this job is for all the coaches that work with them. We have some players that are playing now in Europe. They are playing in national team too. So that's why, for me, it's a proud for that. Because our job as a coach is to educate players and to prepare their futures.
Coach, continue with the good job, and I'm sure more than you, it's just the success of the country as a whole in the game of football, and well done again.
Thank you very much. Let me say congratulations, COSAFA, because if you have this tournament, we give opportunities to new players. Today, one of the boys who was playing in under 20 last year, he played number 20, he was there at midfield, center midfield. He played very well, Ezekiel Mashava. He has got a future. And
Congratulations.
okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.